Hello again. As I'm sure that we all know, fire brigades, like the police, army, air force and every other public body in fact, are desperate to increase diversity. Unfortunately, nobody seems to have asked if this is a wise and desirable thing to aim at. Some qualities and ways of behaving are unreservedly good and desirable, and their endorsement requires no justification. For instance, if I say that the company for which I work is in favour of more kindness and compassion in the workplace and will try to increase such things, that is so obviously a worthwhile aim that we are all able to endorse it without hesitation. Other courses of action, though, might be good or bad. We don't know until further explanation is forthcoming. Take the case of an organisation that announces redundancies. This might be a good thing for the company if it makes it leaner and more able to survive. But if it is just to increase the wealth of the managing director, then these redundancies are a bad thing. We can't say until we have more information. So it is that diversity and inclusion are presented as though they were in the first of the categories in the previous paragraph. That is to say, an unqualified good. Of course, it is in fact the case that this is not at once apparent, and so they should rather be placed in the second category, that of things which might be good or bad, and about which we need further information before we can come to a decision. In short, this is a category error, diversity and inclusion being presented as a good thing, when really we cannot tell if it is so without knowing more about these specific circumstances. In the case of fire brigades in this country, there is a good deal of agonising over the fact that few women apply to join, and that as a consequence there are hardly any female firefighters. There are few homosexuals or black people either. The reason for this is very simple and can be summed up as few black people apply to be firemen, and when they do, they find it hard to pass the written tests, and for women, very few apply, and although they do pretty well on the written tests, they can't pass the physical fitness test. And hardly any gay men wish to be firefighters. I give a link to a report by the local government association a few years ago on the increasing diversity in fire brigades. Looking at it, we see that in Humberside Fire Brigade that only 17% of applicants were women, however, and very few of these demonstrated the fitness and strength capabilities as part of the selection process. Quite. A similar story in West Yorkshire. For female applicants, the sticking point was the physical assessment stage, where upper body strength is paramount and candidates faced a timed test, carrying out simulations wearing full fire kit. In 2017, there were, we are told, some 700 applications from women, 12% of the total, while 11% were from black, Asian and minority ethnic groups. It's over 600 people. However, the retention of those applicants through the selection process proved more difficult. In the first stage of the process, which involved an online assessment of values, decision-making ability and competence in numeracy, literacy and mechanical reasoning, there was a disproportionate failure rate among BAME candidates in the situational judgment test. The answer for West Yorkshire was to give the black applicants special coaching and in effect help them cheat in the written exam and get them to apply again so they could pass it. For women, they got them to go to keep fit classes so they could apply again and try and get through. At no point has anybody apparently asked themselves the obvious question: why would it be better for the fire brigade if 50% of the staff were women? Why would it be better for the fire brigade if 20% of the staff were black and Asian? Why would it be better if there were more homosexuals? These things are simply taken as given, which is odd. I've asked people involved in this kind of thing why they think that it's all a worthwhile enterprise, and they literally do not understand my question. As I say, they are making a category error and are assuming that a fire brigade which reflects the community it serves must be a good thing by definition. Therefore, half the firefighters must be women, and say 20% of them must be black or Asian. If most women would rather be hairdressers, nursery nurses, carers, shop assistants, and so on, while men prefer jobs as electricians and firefighters, why is that a problem? If gay men would rather work in salons or theatres instead of digging ditches, why is that a problem? As long as there is no prejudice and anybody can get a job in any field as long as they fulfil the criteria for that line of work, why do we need to do anything more?